one of the biggest questions that I think every single human has asked themselves at some point in their life is the question of who am I? Who am I? Like, who am I? Today, I'm going to share two more fascinating areas in our minds that we need to become aware of. The first area being the intellect, and the second area being the ego. So, the ego is your identity. I'm going to start with the ego. The ego is your identity. And the ego is the I am, blah, blah, blah. So I am Alia, but am I really Alia? No, I'm not really Alia. I didn't choose Alia. So my parents chose the name that I would be identified with, and that's why I am Alia, because I this is a chosen name. Intellect chooses, let's keep in mind, like a chosen, their intellect chose this name for me that now becomes my I am. I am a coach. Is that really who I am? No, there's so many multiple facets to who I am. I am a thought leader. I am a speaker. I am an author. These are all things that I may use to identify myself, but is it really who I am? No, it's not. Taking the I am back, let's go back to childhood. Let's go back to childhood because one of the first things we give to kids is we give them a book and we start flipping through the book and we start to teach them a horse, a pig, the color red, the color yellow. We start to teach them how to identify things. You know, this goes back to Genesis again, and we've got Adam in the Garden of Eden, and he is told by God to identify the animals in the garden. So these labels are put onto us. Well, what happens if those labels are not good for us? Like, what if the I am label is I am stupid, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I am lazy, or I am stubborn, or I am tired? Whatever it is that you can attach to the end of that, like it's really infinite. But what happens if that label is disabling? What if that label is making you unwell? What if the label is I am sick? What if the label is I am unhealthy? What if the label is I am fat? What if the label is something that is not in alignment with who you truly wish to be? What happens then? This is why I link the ego with the intellect, because the intellect can choose. We've done a video on mental duality. Take a look at that video and understand that with the intellect's ability to choose, you can choose the I am labels that you don't agree with. So anytime you're in an I am situation and it's a disabling situation, your intellect can choose the I am label that will put you into alignment with who I truly am. Because you get to be the identifier of the I am. And that's where your intellect comes in and makes that choice for you. Two other facets of the ego. I want. I want a bigger house. I want more money. I want the best relationship. I want. These are all egoic cravings that I want. These egoic cravings can be beneficial to our lives, but some of these egoic cravings can be detrimental to our lives. If I am an alcoholic and I want more alcohol, that is detrimental to my life. That is stealing from the essence of my life. If I am a smoker and I want to smoke more, then I am is working against me, and I want is working against me because it's destroying the body temple. So we're not progressively working to a desirable outcome. We're actually creating more dis-ease or disease in the body. The last one is I know, and I know is really, really sad because you ask people why do they do the things that they know that they shouldn't do, and they're like, I don't know, I know, I don't know, or I know. Either way, does it really matter? I don't know, I know. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I don't know what I know. I know I shouldn't do that. I know better. I know. These are the three parts of the ego that I want everybody to study and understand about our identity or how we choose to be identified in this world. We have a choice in identity. It's not just slapped onto us. I am not Alia. Like I am Alia, but I'm not Alia at the same time. And if you have a higher level of consciousness, you would know exactly what I mean, because when I say I am not Aaliyah, it means like that's just a name that was given to me that represents me, but I am not Aaliyah. Ultimately, I'm a spiritual being that has a mind that's having a human physical experience here on earth. And that's who I am. Like that's the only I am that I am. The intellect chooses. Make sure that your intellect is choosing. It's not good enough to make a choice. A choice must then be followed up with a belief and followed up with a decision. That's what makes a choice, belief, and a decision very powerful. So, not just good enough to choose, you have to believe in what you're choosing. You have to believe it. So don't just choose to say, I choose I am wealthy. Well, you have to believe that you're wealthy. You have to believe, not just choose, I am loving, I am kind, I am compassionate. You have to believe it. You have to become it. So belief is very important. We talked about the bees in another video as well. So believe is to move you forward. Belief is where you're at right now. It's what's already implanted in there. The intellect chooses. The intellect chooses how to guide you to the next step. It chooses the egoic labels that you will be identified with. Make great choices when you're choosing your labels. You get a choice in this. Most people don't know that they have a choice in this. I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you, you get a choice in this. Because I want you to choose the best possible outcome for your life. I want you to choose the best possible labels for you. And I want you to leave disabling labels behind. You get a choice in that. It's a beautiful thing. I promise you. I hope I was able to shed some light and some clarity on how the ego works. The ego craves. The ego is the addicted part of your personality. The ego does not like to change. So even to some people that may be listening to this, they may feel a little tense by this message because the ego does not like to change. The ego likes set rhythms. This is the part of your subconscious mind that likes things set, that is fearful of change. It does not like change. And anytime you try to impress change upon it, it gives you resistance. But your intellect is above that. And your intellect has the ability to choose. And your intellect has the ability to consistently choose repetitiously until the ego develops this new intention for who you are, until the ego develops this new identity that you wish to identify with. Pick positive identities. Pick empowering identities. Pick the greatest possible identities for yourself. Don't pick disabling identities. And if someone else labeled you incorrectly, fix it. You have the power to fix it. They don't have the power to fix it. How they choose to see you, that's their problem. But how you choose to see you is the most beautiful thing that you could ever do. You are the embodiment of consciousness. So how you choose to see you is the greatest thing you can ever do for yourself. Choose to see you in pure light. Choose to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself gives you the power to forgive others. And every time you're able to forgive yourself, you have just this unlimited power that you can forgive others with because you can forgive you. You understand that you're just having this human experience and you may make mistakes along the way. The ego loves to make those mistakes. Trust me, the ego loves to make those mistakes. But at the end of the day, you have a beautiful intellect, and that intellect chooses. And the fact that you have the option for the choice makes it more amazing. Choose wisely. Peace and blessings, my friends. Peace and blessings. Hi, friends. I have some really exciting news. I have just released the Mental Duality Guide to Life-Changing Results. And this simple guide has transformed so many people's lives because what it helps to do is it helps to open up your awareness to the areas that you may be feeling unsupported, insecure, fearful, trauma that you may have had from the past that you just need to shed some light on and bring your awareness to. And the guide bridges the gap from a negative space over to a more neutral or a high vibrational frequency. So when we see that it's unsupported that we're feeling, we know dualistically that it is support. We need to feel supported in this life. Or if we're feeling insecure, we know that it's security we need to work on feeling, or maybe confidence that we need to work on feeling. And this guide allows you to open up how you actually feel. It allows you to kind of sift through some of the negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you might be experiencing and have a way, a bridge to move them from a negative space into a positive space. I've had so many clients just see amazing results. And me, myself, I have gone to this guide in order to identify thought patterns that I was experiencing and analyze those thought patterns if they were positive or negative. Sometimes we get a thought just like seeps into our mind and we can't really put it into a category. But when we sit with a program like this, we understand what our underlying feelings might be, and bridging the gap from the negative over to something that's going to be more neutral or more positive is the secret to our personal growth and development. And this guide is going to guide you through that. Hopefully one day you join us for the Intuitive Ascending Mind program, but this guide is free for you to work on. It's personal to you. And what it'll do is that it'll open up your awareness. And once you go through that transition of opening up your awareness, you understand the areas that you need to work on. And it also will give you some wonderful affirmations to help build you foundationally from the ground up into a more positive, more happier, more healthier version of yourself, and more wealthier, of course. Peace and blessings, my friends.